By popular demand, here is Josh Scorcher / Fiery Joker / John Scorcher's Top 10 2022 Fails. I only have one prediction for this.
I've got a little list.
Google Stadia is going to be on this list. It's probably going to be, I don't know where it's going to be, probably like in the lower numbers, but you know, that's my only prediction for next one. There's going to be a Google Stadia somewhere in this list. This is going to be the last year he can do it. Also, there's going to be some sexual harassment and stuff like that, because unfortunately, that's a part of the gaming culture that just refuses to leave. Or at least, you know, game designer stuff.
The brats who make the YouTube vids of all the music scores and other stories twists, they're going on the list. The dolts who said to shut down all the online gaming stores. The classics they delist, they're definitely missed. The Halo TV writers as they never played the games.
Yep.
At least the Sonic movies and Arcane were not the same. Kotaku's newest knack who thinks himself a connoisseur, who's whinging when she wants to summon Let Me Solo Her. The pious localizers who will never get the gist. They none of them be missed. They none of them be missed. There's the cringe attempts by Blizzard to foresham diversity. There's creepy analysts. I put them on the list. And Epic Games of
Have the diversity, damn it. Why is no one buying our games?
So they'll be on the list. Those pigs who take nostalgic games and turn them all to trash.
Yeah.
Using hits of dopamine to mine us out of cash. Don't just say, releasing games are finished, it's okay.
No, yeah.
Abusers at your work can make you yearn for Judgment Day. Services instead of games, it's lovely as a sis. They none of them be missed. They none of them be missed.
Stop making live service games, developers. We don't care.
And all the freaking morons who just swear by NFTs. I wish they would desist.
I am so glad these are over. Until Trump ran for office again, in which case he put up NFTs again. And the sad thing is, they sold out. So at some point, it's like...
Mint a picture of the fallen queen. A monkey MMO game was $1 million scam, as everything gets stolen and the metaverse is damned.
At the very least, when they
shove all this in our midst, since they must persist.
The sad thing is that with the Trump NFTs, who's stupider, the one who sells the NFTs or the people who buy them? I wasn't done with to buy any NFTs. I don't want imaginary things.
When you're a successful company that people love and get monetization in more ways than one, there's a temptation to rest on your laurels. But if you still make great products that fans love, then why fret? Sure, people may question your business approach, but you're still doing your job however you can, the best you can, hopefully. But when you stop doing that, get ready for the backlash. Let's look at Exhibit A, Team Fortress 2. What was once a colossus among online first-person shooters is now a rundown saloon where snipers on Beyblades hang out. The game has not received any major update since Jungle Inferno, which even then was pushed long after another content drought. The game has been so poorly attended to that a fair share of smarties thought it'd be more fun to leak the game's source code and turn the game into a Wild West for bots galore. For years, TF2 has been almost unplayable, and people have been begging and protesting for Valve to give a darn about anything again. Fix the problem. Add new content. Like, wasn't there supposed to be a heavy or engineer update? Heck, there are tons of content fans are practically gift wrapping for the devs to use in an official update. And after 5 years of practically nothing, Valve finally gave us a slew of updates. And that's the big update. They didn't even fix the bot problem.
What a rip.
Now, don't get me wrong, we still got a lot of new maps and items for Scream Fortress and Smithsmith as of late, so there is actual new content to be had, but not only does it still pale compared to an actual big update instead of a seasonal one, the underlying problem is still there!
That's sad.
Few new maps aren't going to change the fact that people are still getting split-second headshots under their Smithsmith trees, and trying to have a normal, unmodded experience on Dust Bowl is next to impossible. I know a lot of the issues with TF2's slow development can be chalked up to there only being like 5 people keeping the game on life support, but that's all the more reason why Valve should stop being so cheap and get more qualified people on board to save the game. I mean, look at Pokemon, for instance. Sure, Game Freak's also pretty understaffed, and the Pokemon company spent most of their budget on merch, but they clearly still
get their money
care
back
about their
merch.
games. Even with all the corners they have to cut, there's still an abundance
Never
of
played
creativity,
Scarlet and Violet.
and they still invest all their time to make sure every game comes out as comprehensive as possible.
But I do laugh at the glitches.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Exhibit B, Scarlet and Violet. The gameplay is one of the series' best yet. I'm having a ton of fun with it, but good golly, is there absolutely no excuse for the glitches and poor optimization of the most profitable video game franchise on the planet? I've tolerated a lot of long-standing issues with this series because none of it are anywhere near game-breaking. Sword and Shield, for instance, cutting the national dex in half, fine. You want to draw more attention to the new Pokemon, and I can respect that. Copying animations and models from one version to another, I can accept that too. There are like 1,000 Pokemon now.
Yeah, you gotta make.
I
don't mind.
Textures, sure, whatever. Not fantastic, but it's a bright and cartoony game. I can still suspend my disbelief. But
Pokemon isn't real.
Performance-hindering memory leaks, textures not loading, models missing, and this.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, no, gloves are off. They could and should have taken their time to polish this game.
No, we need a new Pokemon game every single
We can wait
year.
Another year. I don't think it surprises anyone that Pokemon has gone the way of Call of Duty and become a fierce part of rush culture. Considering the signs have already been painted ever since the abrupt conclusion of Generation 6, unless both the Pokemon Company and Game Freak get their act together and consider their approach, we might see gradually worse offenders in the future.
It's not even a Pokemon, it's a flamingo. That's it.
Valve and Pokemon, you are better than this. We clearly love your stuff, but please,
the fan-made Flamingo is
keeping your
better.
Products relevant all these years. The reason this is only number 10 is that in the end, all of these feel less like criminal intent and more like personal slights. The only thing actually abused here, as far as we know, is our goodwill and our wallets. All we can do now is hope these two have their fair share of eye-openers and what they must do to improve. No one wants to see these two become the next Bethesda.
Don't worry, they will.
In the summer of 2022, Kotaku swooped in with some shocking
Kotaku, no.
expose on the horrendous, downright deplorable production history behind Fallout 76, and...
I am shocked. Shocked.
No, not that shocked.
It was horribly rushed and faced serious crunch time.
No shoot.
I think we all kind of figured that out when we saw the dang thing. What is shocking, though, is how apparently Bethesda knew it was going to be bad, but shipped it anyway.
Of course they did.
You know what that's called? Criminal intent.
Though, to its
false
credit,
advertisement is
updates
illegal.
have put Fallout 76 in a much better place than it was at launch. But stuff like this has just become the norm for the studio.
Sadly.
However, there was something else bubbling within the walls of Bethesda. Music composers are one of the many heroes in game production that often go unsung.
Agreed.
Much as gaming music has become widely loved and appreciated, even by people who don't play themselves, it can be rare for musicians to receive any recognition for their work compared to voice actors or directors.
Yes.
One of the few to break out of this is Mick Gordon. First gaining traction with his work on stuff like Need for Speed and Wolfenstein, he became a breakout hit for his work on the Doom 2016 soundtrack.
Oh, he did that?
While diehard fans were skeptical at first due to how different the style was, it quickly caught on.
Oh, yeah.
It's become one of the most celebrated soundtracks in modern gaming, to the point where Argent Metal has arguably become a whole new genre of heavy metal.
I know, right? They even put that shoot in Frontiers.
When the first big trailer for Doom Eternal dropped, people were excited just to hear what he made for it this time.
They dropped it, didn't they?
There were full rips of the trailer's song mere hours after it premiered. As it turned out, though, people hoping for the full Mick Gordon experience were disappointed.
I was going to make a pun about being doomed here, but honestly, Gordon deserves better than that.
Yeah.
When someone pointed out the lackluster audio mixing on Eternal compared to the other game, Gordon explained that he didn't even make most of the songs on the soundtrack and wasn't even allowed to mix them. Soon after, one of the executive producers released a statement on Reddit saying that Gordon had taken too long mixing the soundtrack, to the point where the game was almost delayed because of it, and they had to make do with the little time they had left. Some took this well, others did not.
Yeah.
But hey, we got the word right from the mouth of the execs, right?
Surely they wouldn't lie.
Why would we ever have reason to doubt them?
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise! The folks at ID Software were lying. Suddenly,
Humans lie?
Not wanting
Never.
to work for them again makes a whole lot of sense when you consider all that went down. The stuff about him causing a delay, for example, he was never even contracted to make the soundtrack when that happened.
Really?
And not only that, he wasn't paid for half of what he made either. Look, it's true that Gordon has it better than most video game composers out there.
Yes.
It's true he's still doing well for himself. And it's true that his absence at least gave a much-needed time for Andrew Hulshult to shine after years of making Doom tribute songs. But that doesn't change the fact that he was still cheated, mismanaged, and slandered by the people who requested his services.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're one of the lucky big names or someone still struggling for your chance. Backstabbing is still backstabbing. As every artist, musician, and creative worker out there will tell you, say it with me, folks, fuck you, pay me.
Yeah.
Here's hoping the folks behind Atomic Heart are giving him his fair due, because his past tribulation couldn't have been easy for him. Mr. Howard, Toddy boy, may I call you psycho? You're overworking and backstabbing some of your best employees. Whatever you think just works at your studio, it clearly don't.
Well, they were straight white men, so they probably deserved it. It's a joke.
All right, everybody, you know what time it is. It's time for the Wheel of
Death.
Wheels. All right, let's spin the wheel and see what it lands on.
My money's on EA.
Come on, give me an EA, give me an EA, give me an EA.
No.
I can wax poetic about my thoughts on game journalism until the heat death of the universe.
Seriously.
I combine many YouTube videos and comments criticizing them would outlive the entire Earth's lifespan at this point.
There's almost as
But
many of
you only have
these
50
as
minutes.
Watch
So
Mojo
I'll just
top
say
10
that
videos.
It really feels like game journalists only talk about games without actually playing them.
They do.
It's very apparent with Kotaku. Sometimes they'll do decent journalism, like the Riot
Probably
sexual
by
harassment
accident.
scandal from a few years ago, but most of the time their titles are no better than clickbait to entice readers.
How to draw
Now,
real
clickbait
boobies.
isn't anything new. We've seen them. We've
Yeah.
clicked them.
Yeah.
We got viruses from them.
Yeah.
And our wives yelled at us for getting viruses from them. I'm sorry, honey. But Kotaku isn't some third-party site on Facebook telling you which minor actor is leaving the MCU. They are one of the largest gaming news sites, up there with IGN and GameSpot. So it's kind of weird seeing some of the clickbait titles and opinion pieces they put together over the last year. For example, how Ghost of Tsushima is bad because it's not horny enough.
What?
In context, this came from an article about what Assassin's Creed Red should do in comparison to Ghost.
Be horny?
The point the article was trying to make is how men in a lot of media are shown as buff and toned, but not interested in sex, and how they should embrace their horniness.
What?
Ugh. Right, because when I think of oppressed, war-torn feudal Japan, I think I want to sleep with every NPC in sight. Look, you don't have to shove sexiness into everything. If you're looking for a horny game that plays well, just go buy Genshin Impact.
I want to have sexual relations with you right now!
Then there was the issue of the Xbox Game Pass burnout, where some people on Twitter were unsubscribing from Game Pass due to a lack of AAA content, despite, it was only a few notable people, and people unsubscribe and resubscribe to streaming services all the time.
Yeah,
When
I
the next
unsubscribed
AAA game
from
does
Netflix
come out,
recently.
they're going to
If
be
they have
right
some
back
stuff I
on the
care about,
Xbox
I'll
train
come
as
back.
it's still cheaper than buying the game for the $70 it will be if they get it individually. And next, you know the game Stray, that cute little post-apocalyptic Miyazaki-style kitty
No,
game?
but I've seen
Apparently,
things about it.
it's problematic.
Of course it is.
Yep, got a real big brain think piece here called The Art Style of Stray, Cultural Appropriation and Techno-Orientalism.
Are you fucking
And what do you
kidding
know?
me?
It's another case of Speedy Gonzalez syndrome, and most agents
Oh, you
don't
mean
actually
yeah?
care.
My
Don't you
favorite.
just love
Where a
it?
bunch of white
Harsh
people tell you that this is
minorities. I'm
racist.
speaking for you.
Lastly,
Yeah,
there was
right.
the whole debacle where in August, a sexual
that was way too
harassment
much.
complaint was filed against Nintendo. Oh no, this is serious. We need to look further into this. Allegedly, a lady who got stalked was told by said stalker that if she reported him, she'd be fired. Wow, that's
Okay,
certainly
that's
bad and
serious.
true. It should be investigated. Surely Nintendo will pull an Actibliz and cover it. Oh, they're actively investigating these claims, as shown by a leaked internal memo. And it's been 5 months since these claims, and investigations like these usually take
1 to 2 weeks.
Another claim in the article is sexual harassment in a chat room, and that it wasn't actually Nintendo. It was a third-party contractor, Aerotech, and it wasn't sexual harassment, just inappropriate and immature memes. And it happened many years ago, and it's anonymous, and no one else seems to be corroborating the story. And
where's the
most
story?
Of the article about both of these stories was talking about gender equality in the workplace rather than the allegations themselves. Kotaku. I just want attention. Real talk. I want to believe people when they come forward with these kinds of stories.
So do
But when
I.
said stories are full of this many holes, you really can't blame people when they think you're lying. Yes, Nintendo has
I
problems.
want to believe
There's a whole
sexual
investigation going on with them right now
like,
about
no one
labor
deserves
complaints.
that.
And if
But when you
anything
see
comes
so
from that,
many
you
fake
can bet we'll
ones, you
report on
know,
it.
you
Point
just
is,
kind of
there's
like,
plenty of
you know,
tabloiding to do about Nintendo
you know what I
without
mean.
having to
I don't need
prop
to
up
explain
flimsy
myself.
claims. In the end, I feel like a lot of what Kotaku does is purely opinion pieces without staying completely on the factual proof, which leads to the situations mentioned above, and Twitter having a field day with it. They are human and do err, but considering how many times they've been on these lists, they really need to just stick to the facts. It's especially hard to take them seriously as journalists when they call the game where you play as a cat racist.
Yeah, right. Everything is racist. I'm racist, you're racist, he, she...
Something happens, it is always you three.
I love that meme template.
You know, it's kind of funny in a dark way. With all the horrible revelations and blunders we've seen from Ubisoft, their fails list from 2019 feels so quaint by now.
Yeah,
and
right.
you better
You're
believe
numb.
that 2022 couldn't give them a break. Not that they deserve one.
Yeah.
But so much has happened this year, where to start? Well, for one, they cut off support for Hyperscape, Watch Dogs Legion, and Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Never played any of
and
these.
we were so close to winning a pizza party for most days without a live service shutting down.
Yeah.
Well, we'll always have the Stadia crap.
To be fair,
Okay.
at least one of them is still playable.
Technically,
Another was
technically it
completely
wasn't
shut
a
down,
list,
and the other...
but it wasn't a number.
Well, we'll get to those later.
So,
Speaking
half
of,
a
they canceled
point?
quite a few games, which
A
honestly
third of a
feels like
point?
a blessing.
Yeah.
Why does that feel like a blessing?
Honorable mention?
Having a project people probably worked very hard on being canceled isn't supposed to be a good thing.
This is
It's
why
like
you don't
suddenly
make live
deciding
service
to
games. They're
remove
usually
your
like
games from
shut down a
Steam.
year
Oh, wait,
later.
they tried to do that too.
Ooh.
Well, to be fair, they caved and didn't pull all of them off, but it still feels hollow when games like Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation still feel broken and annoying to buy. Why did they
Then don't
decide
buy
that
it.
this is a good idea? If someone could explain Ubisoftian logic to me, I feel like it would transcend existence. And just to rub salt in the wound, their stocks are at an all-time low. Okay, in all
wonder
fairness,
why.
A lot of people are at a low point, but
Yeah.
this just feels satisfying.
This is
What's
much better
that? You
than
think I'm
mean
being
tweets.
needlessly harsh and unprofessional with Ubisoft? Yeah, if you saw all the misconduct reports within the company, you'd change your tune.
Yeah.
Plus, how can you expect me to be professional when they gotta be bitter betties towards other people's success? Yeah, you know Elden Ring, which would eventually become the game of the year?
Deservingly
At the start,
so.
its world was praised for being more immersive than a lot of Ubisoft
no.
games since it had so few intrusive elements to let you freely explore. Meanwhile, Ubisoft's open worlds are often criticized for being samey, handholdy, and obvious. Now, that's not necessarily bad. Heck, it worked great for Far Cry 3, but when all their games use this format, it gets old.
Fast.
And does cranky old Mr. Ubisoft try to take the criticism with grace and dignity?
Hell no.
Oh, come on, we all know the answer to that. Oh, check out the salt explosion on these intercontinental ballistic tweets. Dissing their competition just because they did what they obviously couldn't. Because yes, instead of trying to fix our problems and accept that we need to better ourselves, let's just undermine the more successful guy. That'll make us feel better. Fortunately, this entry does come with a happy ending. Well, a fail for Ubisoft,
Yeah.
a win for the devs. With the company in the state that it is, several devs decided it just wasn't worth it anymore. And thus the great exodus begins. Protests, walkouts, liberation! Of course, Ubisoft tried to buy them back by offering pay raises, where upper level devs get an even higher wage while the lower get a
Of
small
course.
boost. Wow, you can't even do desperation right.
Yeah.
To sum up, Karma finally caught up with Ubisoft, and it's only going to get worse from here if they don't shape up.
Good.
So really, best case scenario, they get better. Worst case scenario, they go out of business. So win-win.
Of the Halo games, the overall quality of them went down over time. I mean, I loved a lot of the Halo games, which is why it hurts seeing the downward trend it's gone through over the last few years.
Yeah, it's become a
Last year, Halo Infinite was finally released after being delayed for a year, and when it was released, it was not bad. People praised the campaign as being one of the better ones 343 has put out, and the open world worked for the most part.
Good.
However, when you think about shooters, especially one as prolific as Halo, you need to worry about the online multiplayer. And clearly someone's been borrowing Blizzard servers.
Oof.
High ping when connecting, a super tedious grind with the battle pass, and lack of actual decent rewards when you do the grind made people fall off the game real quick. In a month
the
or
entire
two,
point of these
Infinite's
games
player
multiplayer?
count
How'd you
went
mess
lower
that
than
up?
even Battlefield 2042.
We'll get to you.
Oh,
Wait
no.
your turn.
In the years since then, 343
We're waiting to
hasn't
get to
really
EA.
done
That
a
isn't
lot
good.
to fix it. They've been slowly adding in new maps and modes, but it wasn't until November of this year that we finally got online co-op and Forge mode. Two things people have been clamoring for months, and Halo 3 had on launch day. Xbox Game Studio said 343 is needing to refocus and will continue to work on updates to make sure the game is better in the future. So hopefully with that winter update, the game will see great things. Is that it? It's kind of high for that. I feel like I forgot something. Oh, right! The TV show.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense now. Yeah, you remember that? Well,
I
of course
didn't
not.
watch
You're all
it,
still watching
but
House
I've
of
heard
Dragon
the
and
first
Andor.
complaints.
You saw the first episode, fell asleep faster than you did watching Rings of Power, and then went on Twitter to go #NotMyHalo. How the heck do you do a Halo show badly? Even if you don't follow the games, there are many novels you could have taken from to do a great show. While
They
it
broke the
has
first
good
rule,
action
never
scenes, the
show
elements
Master
it does
Chief's
take from the
face.
games and other source materials are superficial at best. Besides that, it got heavily panned for characters not acting like they would in the games, and the overall story just gets worse with each episode. Compared to the games, it just felt disjointed. And this is the same series as ODST and Guardians. Why did they do so badly? Well, for one, the showrunners never played the games. That explains everything. There are other things I can
Sad thing
mention,
is
like
how
Cortana
common
being
this
a
is.
borderline necromancer, or the sex scene technically being Ace Erasure, or just do a full character study of #NotMyMasterChief. But I'll end it here. Season 2, yes, for some
Why do they only
reason,
give
the
second
show is
seasons to
getting a
the
season
bad
2,
shows that
having a
no
different
one
showrunner,
likes?
so hopefully it'll be better.
But then you get a legitimately good
Only
show,
go
it's
up,
like,
right?
cancel, we don't need that.
Let's look forward to the 35th anniversary of Final Fantasy.
You said it.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna go full NFT next year and tell everyone to suck it.
Yep, that pretty much sums it up. We don't have to do the entry anymore.
Freak.
We still gotta do the entry. Crap.
Wow, Square. Just wow. There isn't enough time in the day to go over the insane year you had.
Yeah, seriously.
All this goodwill just out the window. You ended last year with frickin' Sora and Smash Bros. And this year you started your CEO saying he's going to invest more money into blockchain and metaverse technologies. And yes, we will talk about NFTs too. Trust me. But
What if they're
first,
gonna be number
let's list
one?
all of the
Who's in top
BS
three?
that Square did this year, because some of it you probably forgot happened this year.
I know
We
Final
got
Fantasy
cloud
VII
versions
happened.
of Kingdom Hearts on Switch that were released buggy and poorly optimized, and are
Shocker.
still not fixed.
Nah.
And don't tell me they tried. If they got Nier Automata to work, they can get KH3 to work. You released a Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale whose major crossover was with the classic Final Fantasy VII and ended quickly as it started. Also,
Hell?
Babylon's Fall.
I don't get it. Why did Babylon's fall?
Who knows? I heard the reviews said it's not fun, a boring live service, and doesn't look good.
It must be because Elden Ring.
Yeah,
At least
it's
they didn't say it's because
what
you're
about when
racist.
Square sold all of its Western IPs to invest in NFTs. Yeah, remember that? It was April. They threw away their franchises for candy, money, and a Mexican robot. Don't forget about Chocobo GP, the Final Fantasy racing game that studied money making from EA University and graduated magna cum laude.
Dang
it's a good school, top 10 and ripping people off with glitchy microtransactions. Well, I guess they failed that course and Square couldn't make it last the year. Oh, we can't forget about the NFTs because they did make some. They made a Cloud One, digital Final Fantasy cards, and of course, the biggest letdown in history, Parasite Eve NFTs. Hey, Barrett, what do you think about this?
I just want to talk to him.
Why do you have a shotgun?
I just want to talk to him.
This is entirely in character for
I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I just want to shoot him. I just want to talk to him.
You can't shoot him.
Wait, what? True Blade Seekers making my life
character.
easy today. And despite all of these issues, Square still had a really good year. New Star Ocean, new Valkyrie, Triangle Strategy, Live Alive, Romancing Saga Remaster, Stranger of Paradise, KH Anniversary, Final Fantasy VII Anniversary, Crisis Core Reunion. So many good events and games that are all dampened by the decisions of executives.
It's always
who
sad when
want
that happens.
money.
Like, for every good thing that happens,
Mention,
there's
like,
two bads.
Yuji Naka being arrested, Marvel's Avengers not being dead, and comments about representation in Final Fantasy 16. I love Square, but man,
I hate Square.
Get the crap together. Let's hope 2023 will be better.
I don't hate Square. That was just more of a joke. Like, I love Square, but I hate Square. You know?
EA. No. What?
There it is.
Sorry, force of habit.
No, we didn't mess up the order. There's plenty of stuff worse than EA this year.
Yeah.
Relatively speaking, this was a pretty tepid year for EA.
I didn't even know they
they're still on this list and this high for a reason. Starting off with their smallest.
The only reason I knew EA existed is because I've been watching these top flight fails.
They're a 10, but they only like playing single-player games. Look, not every corporate Twitter can be Wendy's or Arby's, but how can you be this tone deaf? Well, in their defense, most single-player games this year weren't too profitable. Well, it did release last year. The fails of Battlefield 2042 continued well into this year. Whether it's the non-existent roadmap, killing modes, or the drip feed of new content, the game has been nothing but a never-ending comedy of errors. At one point, EA went so far as to blame Halo Infinite for the game's failings.
What?
I don't know if you haven't been paying attention to the headlines, EA, but Halo is the last thing you should be blaming your failings.
Yeah, right? It was earlier on this list.
All the while, EA tells us that they're still working on it.
Right.
I don't believe you. Of course, you can't talk about EA without talking about their flagship franchise, Madden. To our utter lack of shock, the game was an unfinished mess. Even real-life athletes got in on the bashing.
I don't even understand how you screw up Madden. You've been doing the same thing every single year. How'd you screw it up?
It's really pathetic that EA is doing so poorly that their older games have bigger player bases than their modern ones.
Oh, that's how you know you failed.
With all this in mind, I'm going to say something really controversial. I really think that people need to take some responsibility. Every year, we hear about how bad and unfinished EA games are. And people still buy them every time.
I don't.
It's far from a new thing, too. EA, in a nutshell, got it right over a decade ago. So to see people falling for it all these years later just boggles my mind.
Two things are infinite. The universe and human stupidity. Jury's out on the universe.
I haven't heard that one before. Usually the one I hear is death and taxes.
Intense,
oh, jeez, this one.
Polarized debacle of the year. Full of deception.
I can't wait for the movie based off this and the video game adaptation of that movie.
Professional business conduct.
Wait, I think I got the wrong intro. Hang on.
It was the most intense, dramatic, and polarized debacle of the year, full of deception, emotional manipulation, and the desolation of professional business conducts.
Ah, there we go. Don't know how I got those two mixed up.
To its credit, the latter was a lot shorter than the former, but oof, what a crap storm it was.
Yeah,
Just
I
to set
remember
the scene,
this.
It all started with Bayonetta 3. A nice return for the franchise, but did something different.
Just a child? What are you doing running around Vigrid? Greedy little thing. Perhaps it's time for a crash diet.
For those who didn't catch it, Helena Taylor, the actress who's voiced Bayonetta for over 10 years since she was first created, was suddenly recast for the new game. Instead, taking the titular reins is veteran voice actor Jennifer Hale. And yeah, the difference is noticeable, but she did a nice job, I think.
Yeah.
However, little did
Not a bad
anyone realize
voice acting
how
job.
deep this rabbit hole actually goes. One fateful day, Taylor posted a video on Twitter announcing why she wasn't voicing Bayonetta. According to her, she was only going to be paid $4K for the entire game.
What?
Bear in mind, this is a major milestone for one of Nintendo's more underrated franchises, but 4K
I can make that in
what
about
likely
2
amounts to
months at my
multiple days
job.
of grueling, multi-hour long sessions? Yes, indeed, voice acting is not a well-respected art form, considering someone
Sadly.
with years of skill and experience can be snubbed in favor of celebrity stardom.
Yeah.
So, a call-out to the support of better payment for voice actors is long overdue. However, in Taylor's video, you start to notice quite a few red flags and you realize something's fishy with this picture. So let's dissect her vid, shall we?
If you're someone who cares about people, then I urge you to boycott this game.
Okay, maybe don't try to guilt trip people for their support. That's kind of underhanded, no matter how righteous the cause is.
Yeah.
She has no right to say she is the voice of Bayonetta. I created that voice. She has no right to sign merchandise as Bayonetta.
No,
whoa,
that's
whoa,
not how
whoa,
that works.
whoa, hold
you don't
on.
own the rights to
We're
the
being
character.
called upon to support voice actors, but throwing a fellow VA under the bus is acceptable losses, apparently?
I am not afraid of the non-disclosure agreement.
No, you really should be. You break one of those, you're liable for punitive.
Yeah.
Also, if you don't care about NDA, then why not release the correspondence with Platinum? And things get even more outrageous when she compares herself to a human malware relief worker. Okay, look, no disrespect to voice actors, but saving
Agreed.
the lives of sick patients is not on par with being a voice actor.
Correct.
Speaking of, when you stop to think about it, if the payment was really that horrible, then why would Hale, a fellow SAG-AFTRA member who has always pushed for better voice actor pay, sign on for this project? There
Yeah,
are
it's
way
makes you
too
more
many holes in
questionable.
this story, and oh, would you look at that?
I'm a compulsive liar. It's true. I swear it.
Yep, turns out Helena Taylor's whole spiel was a pile of crap.
Of
Jason
course.
Schreier, the one good Kotaku journalist, did some research and found that Taylor asked for $100K
What?
plus residuals.
Plus?
Platinum refused, but offered her $10K for a cameo, which seems a lot fairer for a shorter role.
I'd say.
But nope, she made a big stink and tried to emotionally
Can I get 10K for a
blackmail her
cameo?
fans, and did the ultimate big brain move of inadvertently confirming all the reports. The cherry on top, she tried to get fans to donate their money to charities that are way too political for this channel, but that just made
We're
her
not
even
getting
less
to then.
popular. So to sum up, Helena Taylor took advantage of an actual noble cause and her fan base, threw a fellow VA under the bus for doing nothing wrong, broke NDA, which left her in the perfect position to get sued, put Hideki Kamiya in an awkward position which led him to close his Twitter. Though, to be honest, his Twitter wasn't great to begin with.
Yeah.
And how did her campaign play out? Well, Bayonetta 3 just won an award for Best Action Game. Its sales are skyrocketing, and everyone loves
I got a copy
it.
of it
So
for
her
Christmas.
gambit amounted to, let's see.
Absolutely nothing. Shame, I liked the voice actress until this happened.
Our champion of workers' rights, everyone.
Honestly, Helena could learn a lot from the Has-Been Hotel actors. When their show was finally greenlit for television, they had to be recast with union actors. The fans were PO'd, but the actors understood that's just showbiz. Similar thing happened with Scream 6. Yeah, it's sad they missed out, but it's comforting to know they were professional about it, which is more than I can say for dear old Miss Taylor. Voice actors had little enough respect as it was, and you showed up, poisoned the conversation, and dipped. Appreciate that.
Moving on.
Up yours, traders! If you're dumb enough to fall for
I
pyramid
remember
schemes, you're
this
big enough
scene.
schmuck to come to Jake Josh's JPEGs. Bad drawings, JPEGs that lose worth. Thieves! If you think you'll make a profit at Jake
I
Josh's,
never
you can
bought a
kiss my
single
hind.
NFT.
It's our belief that you're such a
'Cause I'm not-
stupid mother trucker. You'll fall for this bullcrap
'Cause you
guarantee.
wanna know what I can
if you
do?
can properly invest,
Take
shove
a
it up your ugly crap.
screenshot.
You heard us right. Shove it up your ugly crap.
Not that
Bring
I
your
want
PayPal,
the
bring your
NFT of a
Venmo, bring
monkey,
your mom's
but if
credit
I
card.
wanted
We'll
it.
lose it. That's right. We'll lose your money because at Jake Josh's, you're skinned 6 ways from Sunday. Take a hike to Jake Josh's, home of challenge fishing. That's right, challenge
This is
fishing.
from
How does it work? If you
you,
can get a public
Baltimore,
figure
by
to
the
fall
way,
for a
if you-
blatantly
anyone
obvious
doesn't know
scam,
source
you'll get
material.
away with it. Don't wait. Don't delay. Don't muck with us or we'll impoverish a whole demographic. Only at Jake Josh, the only seller that tells you to buzz off. Hurry up, glasshole. This event ends the minute after you trust us with your personal info. And it better be legit or you're a broke matriarch fornicator. Go to Hades, Jake Josh's JPEGs, Crypto Scummiest, and the exclusive home of the greediest sons of fishes in the state of Texas. Guaranteed. At this point, there's no way you haven't heard of NFTs, even if you've gone out of your way to avoid anything to do with them. Throughout 2021, the internet was absolutely infested with them. If you're a sane person who saw them for what they were, a giant scam, it was unbearable.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't care!
Same.
Fortunately, be it some act of divine intervention or people actually wising up, the value of NFTs has plummeted. Despite this,
Christ.
many people still continue to attempt to squeeze blood from the proverbial stone. Fortunately, gamers have been nearly universally against NFTs in gaming. Yeah, some of the most divided groups of people ever came to a near consensus. Companies, however,
Once in a
didn't get the
lifetime,
memo
right?
and still attempt to shove them down our throats. In a glorious display of irony, EA was smart enough to not push their luck.
Wow.
It's EA. Actually.
Though Ubisoft had no such hesitation. They dived headfirst into the scam with Ubisoft
When EA is smarter than
no
you.
one's surprised, except for Ubisoft's. It was a complete disaster. So much so, they claimed it was just for research.
Right.
I don't believe you.
Oh, and our good faux friend Peter Molyneux even tried to get into the fun.
I think this is the first time people actually hoped something from Molyneux would fail.
Thankfully, Microsoft was having absolutely none of it and completely banned NFTs in Minecraft, which led to the standalone attempt to make them collapse. And even the indie scammers, devs, are trying to get a slice of the pie crumbs. Take Untamed Isles, for instance. On paper, it seemed fine. A Pokemon-esque MMO that raised over 4 times its initial goal. Then people found out that the entire thing was nothing more than a glorified crypto game.
Oh,
As a result, the whole thing imploded overnight. Did I mention that the backers didn't get refunds because the devs wasted everything on crypto?
Oh, of course.
You don't have the money, do you?
In the end, the only thing the Untamed Isles did was set a new record for how quickly a Kickstarter game could crash and burn.
My number 9 be like, even we
compared
didn't
to the
do
absolute
that.
exploitation that was Axie Infinity. This game quickly became the biggest pay-to-earn system around.
Pay-to-earn?
Or as it should be called, pay-to-be-exploited. To make a long story short, it was promoted to low-income Filipinos as a way for them to make money simply by playing games. Of course, the whole thing was just a pyramid scheme with extra steps.
Of course
I began to think it's not a coincidence that this game was primarily marketed to a financially illiterate demographic. And if that was too difficult for them, why not steal indie games and try to resell them as NFTs? That'll totally work. But somehow, despite all of this, and in the face of millions lost through hacks, people keep falling for these.
I know.
How can people
That's the
be
saddest
so
part.
gullible?
Bandwagon fallacy. Everyone else is doing it. Sunk cost fallacy. They invested in too much. Gamblers fallacy. Survivorship bias.
Never mind.
At this point, all we can do is hope against hope that
Never
companies
getting an
finally
NFT.
realize that NFTs are more trouble than they're worth. Even then, it's
Come
only
on,
a matter of
humanity.
time before
Let me
the
have a
next
little
get-rich-quick
faith in
scheme,
you.
I mean, new creative avenue pops up.
Hell? I don't want to know.
Yuji Naka's insider trading. Oh, what a surprise. Cue the City Escape memes.
Yeah, right.
Nintendo's annoyances, online mismanagement, and finish it later is still an ongoing practice.
You never-
Miyamoto, we need to talk.
Yeah.
Saints Row, why do you hire writers that hate the things they're writing?
Yeah,
G4TD
it
shutting
got
down.
shut down.
Why do you hire performers that hate the people they're performing
Yeah,
for?
fuck them.
Sonic Omens, way to give quality fan games a bad rap. At least we got Russian Shadow.
Where's the objective location?
Sony annoyances. Inflation is
Omens isn't
inevitable,
that
but
bad.
jeez, Sony. GameStop walkouts. Fail for GameStop. A win for the working man. Disney
Yeah.
Expo over monetization. Well, that was a whole lot of nothing.
Yep.
Stadia. Saw it coming, yet I'm still surprised.
Honorable mention. I get an honorable mention for calling that one.
Fixing servers. So they're taking enough from Ubisoft, are they? Last of Us Remake. The game isn't broken. It's the people who think it was ever good enough to pay $60 for. Hey-o!
I'm not paying $60
Epic Games,
for it.
number 11 on this list. They paid out $520 million for violating kids' privacy.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Let's see what number 1 is.
Someone's been a very busy,
no.
very naughty company this year.
We thought it couldn't get any worse after Actiblizz made it to number 1 on last year's list.
Here we go again.
Unfortunately, Activision Blizzard has gone above and beyond.
How do they keep up with themselves? Is it a personal challenge?
Actiblizz has dethroned EA as the evilest gaming company. Why they've done so many awful things this year, I could probably make a countdown just on Actiblizz fails this year alone.
Please don't. I have to react to it. Oh boy.
Activision Blizzard not compressing Call of Duty files. 7 megabytes on disk plus 150 gigabytes download. Literally e-waste. There is no justification for a game needing to take up this much hard drive space. Modern Warfare 2's remake is missing basic features. No leaderboards, challenges, stats, split screen. There are literally fewer features in the game than in the original released in 2009. Yet they still
Even
made
GoldenEye
millions
had
of an
half that
unfinished
stuff.
game. So much for learning their lesson. The Great Diablo Immortal scandal. To get a full build in that game could run you as much as $100,000 in microtransactions.
I don't have $100,000.
A single legendary gem.
I barely have $2,000.
$16,000. And remember, a lot of this stuff is random drops. So if you get unlucky.
More money,
Overwatch 2. You know how I sometimes complain that Mario Galaxy 2 is basically DLC for Mario Galaxy 1?
Well, it was.
Perhaps I treated you too harshly.
Compared to Overwatch 2, Mario Galaxy 2 is a shining beacon of what a sequel should be. But wait, there's more. Overwatch 2 required you to link a phone number to your account. At first, these phone numbers had to be a contract number, which means to play the game, you'd have to be shilling out hundreds of dollars for a phone contract if you didn't already have one.
Do you guys not have phones? Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
In more recent times, they've allowed prepaid numbers and might drop the requirement entirely, but is it just me, or does this sound like a massive security risk?
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
gaming companies never get data leaks from pissed off hackers, right?
Not even once.
Oh. And of course, there's a typical bad Actiblizz monetization with a crappy battle pass and a storefront that was bugged in such a way that it bought items for you, and Actiblizz refused to issue refunds.
Bullshit!
There are more failures to talk about.
Effing shit!
Literal plagiarism! Call of Duty Vanguard artists stole designs from Dead Drop, Gundam, and even VTubers.
What?
For all the brown-nosing Actiblizz did to China, what with silencing Hearthstone players who sided with the Taiwan protests, there's some sweet karmic justice in that China has seen fit to give Actiblizz the boot. Fail for them, win for us.
The irony.
The diversity tool. I wish I was joking, but Actiblizz actually came up with a numerical value system for ethnicities, disabilities, and sexualities in their character designs.
Isn't this
doesn't that
actively
just tell you
offensive?
everything you need to know? You aren't a person. You are a disability. You aren't a human. You are a skin color.
This is
You are
ableist.
alive.
This is racist.
You are a checkbox. They are so confident consumers will buy anything.
It's
that
funny
matches
how
a
that the more
flag
the
that they
companies
don't even
try
need to consider things
push
like
the
backstory,
try to push
personality,
diversity,
goals,
the more
likes and
racist
dislikes,
and offensive
you know,
they
things
become.
that make a character. It's sad that people's visibility, inclusivity, and representation is being pushed at the expense of their humanity.
Right.
Bobby Kotick lying about the real reason they're being sold to Microsoft. Yeah, it's all about not shipping Overwatch and Diablo.
Yeah,
totally has nothing to do with the awful work culture and the ramifications of people's perceptions. Is this company just allergic to accountability?
Evidently, yes.
Oh,
that's what people nowadays.
They got
Hearthstone.
another lawsuit. This time from the family of someone who got harassed into ending their life.
Jesus.
When is it going to end with this black hole of a company?
Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not.
I'm the Fiery Joker, and yeah, I joke about needing the content, but I still want this industry to improve.
So do I.
I'd like to see the day where I don't have to make these kinds of countdowns.
But they do good reviews.
Since I have no ounce of doubt these problems shall persist, their folly shan't be missed, they'll all be on the list.
Didn't even have a countdown in a countdown. Well, that's surprisingly went under the radar for me in 2022. But then again, I wasn't buying a lot of games in 2022.
Hey everyone, this is Josh. If you like this video, please like.
Trying to save some money up, you know? Don't want to live here forever. But anyway, yeah. All this stuff can go F off. Just... The one that hurt me the most was the Bayonetta one, just because I'm a Bayonetta fan. I want to like her. I like the voice well, I liked the voice actress until I found out this stuff, so it's like, dang it. It's sad, really, when it's like, it's something you care about, and even there, it's not perfect. At least Bayonetta 3 did well. I haven't played it yet because, I said I got it for Christmas. That is true. I lost it. I gotta find the thing again, and then I'll play it again. Just saying. I like the voice actress, but now apparently she's scum. Here's her turn around. I mean, the new voice actress for Bayonetta sounds fine. You know? It doesn't seem like she did a bad job based on the stuff I've seen. Fuck all these companies. Fuck Activision, and hopefully next year will be a better year in gaming, but I'm still gonna bet sexual harassment, sadly. Maybe 2023 will be better. Maybe. Maybe we're just getting all the garbage out of the way early? I can be optimistic, right? It's not illegal yet. Time will tell that tale. See you in the next top 10 I do, which will probably be 2023 fails. Unless someone else wants me to do another fiery joke or top 10 first. Or whatever. Later.